Alright, let me pull up the YouTube real quick and just make sure that we're live. Lieutenant Ponzo. There's actually a Lieutenant Ponzo. Nice. Alright, let's see if I can hear myself. Sounds like I can. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this live on YouTube. If you guys want to watch from YouTube, you can as well. I'll go ahead and post it, but that way it'll just be recorded for everybody. Post the link right here for you. What up, Vega? A couple people joining in the Discord. Few things. Overall, just the sentiment is pretty ass right now. You got Tate and fucking Ansem just going back and forth on Twitter. You got Cole, which has kind of found everybody likes attention for shorting, and Bitcoin has gone down like, I don't know, what's that, like 10%, 8%. Which, yeah, some altcoins definitely have dropped a lot farther. That's something that I tried to warn you guys about with Bitcoin dominance here. We're simple trend line, man, on dominance. Every time we've touched it, we had a pretty decent alt pullback and weakness. And so far, dominance is still pumping up. I'm looking for this 618, like 60% level here. But we're going into a bearish 5-0 for a harmonic territory above the 0.5, but it can go up into the 0.618, which is actually a target for 100%. So that's just an area that I'm looking for dominance to start getting weaker up in this area. So we covered Bitcoin earlier. Personally, I think Bitcoin still looks fine. Where was the chart I was looking at? Alright, we'll just go with this one and start fresh.
Hey LT, if you can hear me, where did you post that link to?
In VC chat. So if you guys want it, it's in VC chat. You can just click on that.
Alright, cool, thanks man.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure if you can hear other people. I know if you guys can, because that would be cool if I could include that. If not, it's no big deal. I'll figure out how to do it at some point. But yeah.
Hey, just so you know, this is Wayne Batson. I've been a mod in Mitch Ray's channel for like 6 years, and we used to do this back in the day, and like talk into the night, all of us. So yeah, it's possible.
Oh, that's sick. Nice to meet you, man. Mitch is awesome. I've been watching him forever, and same with Scott. So it's cool. I haven't really got to meet Mitch yet, but I talk with Scott all the time. So Mitch is awesome though, man. I love his streams. I think we would definitely get along pretty well, but sooner or later, hopefully meet him.
Yeah, right on. It's been a long journey in the harmonic world for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. So do you trade harmonics as well then?
Yeah, I'm not like full-time and super adept. I get distracted, but yeah, that's pretty much the focus. And you know, all the other tools.
Cool. Well, I should have figured that out by your name saying Wayne Batson. You like trading the bat.
Yeah, back in the day, but that's actually not what it.
That's not what I meant. Okay.
Originally was no.
Funny. That's cool. So yeah, one thing I pulled up forever ago was this fair value gap that we had here from previous cycle, and when you learn ICT and fair value gaps and you just displace through them and come back down, it's and you hold that support, that should be an area around that midpoint where you should really see support held. Discounting this one here, but you can see we never even closed a weekly candle below it. And we've been holding it. So that was the level that I was very much looking to see to hold for a continuation upwards. And so far we've done really well above it. There was like a harmonic, it wasn't a perfect one, but this is where I got my entry off of for Bitcoin, where I'm still currently long on Bitcoin. Down here. So we had you can probably see it on a smaller time frame. But we had a crab here, so we had a 618 all the way down to a 1618 that lined up right here at a 1.13, which obviously this one, if you pull it all the way down, it's not perfect here for a shark, for a 1.13 shark. But you had the perfect 618 here, so this was where I was looking to bid. I actually saw it lower than that, so I was able to bid 58.3, and that's where I'm holding it from still. And I personally thought this was the liquidity raid where we had all these wicks down here. So I've held it with conviction so far, and I plan to. Like above this fair value gap, we took all these stops out down here. This is my entry down here, and I'm planning to hold this. So we'll see how this goes. Worst case scenario, we come back down and I try again later. But so far, it's shaping up pretty good for me. One thing that I am watching, our pullback, we came back down and did I pin that? Why is that not pinning? Hold on. There we go. So we came down and tapped your 382, which is a normal pullback in a sequence going upwards. It's also your first take profit of the harmonics that we had here. So if you guys remember, this was the channel I was using. Oh, I just messed that up. So I have a bunch of different aspects, but that I look at when I was looking at this, just to kind of know that we're in a consolidation stage and not to like get overly greedy or anything with my trades. Just try to bid the bottom of the range if I can, if I think we're going to continue higher from here, and that's what I did. So I looked for an entry. I did notice this bearish harmonic that we had. We had a type 1, we have a type 2. We came down here. We did hit like this first TP. So I'm looking to see if we can hold this. Overall, there's no reason for me to really be like macro bearish or anything like that. I know a lot of people are, if you go on CT, but just ignore that. Like, we really got to start breaking down past like this large area before we can really turn macro bearish. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be broken first. Smaller time frame, yeah, absolutely. We have a little pullback, but in the higher time frame, looking at this is still looking good. Like, this could still be a flat. We haven't even broken below it or anything yet. So just zoomed out in this, looks fine to me. Alts, yeah, have taken a beat and dominance is pumped up, but overall it looks great. And then smaller time frame, if we're going even smaller, this is what I posted a few days ago. Let me see if I can pull up the butterfly. If not, I'll just make a new one. I have so many charts. Some small time frame, some larger, just to show people. I had drawn these stops that everybody has down here earlier and said these probably get ran, and there was a lower time frame butterfly. This one. So we had a 763, which is close to the 786. 0.5, and then you're looking for your 1272 for the butterfly. So it actually came down to that, and I'm pretty sure it like almost tapped it to the T today. Yeah, 66K perfectly. Yep. So that's what I've been watching, and that's where I did think we were going to start to reverse. And if you go to the weekly, you can actually see that we did tap into this weekly fair value gap that we had here too, which is great. Yeah, could we come down lower? Absolutely. Take profit too is around 62,000-ish, I believe. But if we are in a bull market, I do want to see us start to reverse from our first TP and continue up. But remember, TP2, 62, 468. And then overall, when you really zoomed out, we are still at the top of the range. You know what I mean? We haven't gotten above it, came back down and retesting it with like vengeance or anything. Like we still are top of range. So that's just something to take into note. I just went over ETH. We're getting on the HSI here, we're tapping into a daily oversold as well. Doesn't mean that like it has to be a bottom, it just means we're tapping into the oversold area. But if you look back, when we get pretty close down here, like this one was the last one where we really tapped into it, was here. So you can actually see down here we tapped into it. We're getting into it here now. And then the other one was down here. And these are big moves when you get into oversold territory potentially. They're like bottoms getting put in. So that's just something to take note of. Overall on the weekly too. We have rejected off the top here and in the midpoint. So this is just something to keep an eye on. ETH is what I was looking at. I actually just watched a little bit of Scott's streams, which was great. Showed me the shark that I forgot about. So the shark here on Ethereum is great because you have this bearish shark, and you know what you look for after a bearish shark. You're looking for your potential move down to that 0.5 for a bullish 5.0. So pretty much at a bullish 5.0 here, which ETH loves the bullish. If you guys remember back in 2023 at the end of the year, going into May at the beginning of, was it this year already? Yeah. So we had this beautiful shark on ETH. We had much here, came back down for, remember on your sharks your sea legs are lower, on your bats it's at 886, between 382 and 886. So this one went over 1.1618, so that would be looking for your shark with your 618 here. And why would it not be an 886 shark? One thing to remember if you're doing harmonic, guys, when you have this, and some people do this and they look for their shark and like, oh, this is the target. You have to look at your B to D. Everybody ignores this leg, but it's below a 1618. For your shark, you need this above it. So to get above it, typically, if it's not there, sometimes it'll be an 886 above a 1618. But if it's not, typically the 1.13 is what it's going to hit for your harmonic, for your shark. And then from there, you look for the move to the 0.5 for bullish 5.0, and that's where we had this bottom put in on ETH a while ago. And it looks like we're trying to do the same thing over here. And just looking left here, we have this weekly. So it was an order block, right? It's the last up candle before it going down here. But now it has broken through and we're above it, and we're going to the midpoint, and we're trying to test the midpoint as support, which lines up right at the same spot as the bullish 5.0. So that's a huge trigger for me in this area where I could start seeing a reversal on ETH. So I'm looking in this zone. It looks fantastic here in my opinion. And we have filled, well, this old fair value gap here as well. So we might inverse that, and that's exactly where the 5.0 lines up. So just a lot of things confluence that have flipped recently with the ETH. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's what I'm looking at personally. Same thing with just total market cap on the daily right now. There was another, we are holding this. This level right here. As long as I see this hold, I think we should be fine. Like, this is not a bad area where you can start seeing an up thrust, but we'll see. Totals tapping down into oversold. So it looks good. Let me see if anybody's said anything in chat real quick. And you heard them? Cool. So you can hear people in there, which is actually great. cycle, bitch. Fucking Tate. Oh god. Alright, ETH BTC, let's take a look at this. So something that like I was looking back here where I was like, oh look, ETH might actually get outperformed by Bitcoin. We have a 618 here, we could be putting in the top around the 886. Sure enough, it was. I mean, this is like almost 2 years later now of downtrend. Yeah, literally. I have just a basic little trend line here, and I mean, to be honest, you could pull it to this high here of the week. This, and it hasn't really broken out with force yet. Like, this still could be a rejection, you know what I mean? This is all biased on your trend line on how you want to draw this. So, but what I'm looking at is it would be fantastic on the monthly level. We already tapped into this monthly fair value gap, which is great. So that's one of the first signs I was looking at for a reversal. We swept this low with B point, which is good, but so far it still doesn't look the strongest. I mean, I would love if we came down and put in a Gartley on ETH BTC, which Gartley, they're my favorite pattern to trade. I make the most money off them. They usually have the best reactions upwards when you do get a clean one, and this one's pretty clean. The only thing, this is right out of ratio, but it still looks good. So if we come back down and we do tap 0.036, what could that mean? I mean, maybe Bitcoin just completely takes off for a little bit and leads the market, and ETH lags a little bit, and we put that in. But this would be such a trigger for me. I've been looking at it for 2 years and just scrolling left and looking at the level. Like, you feel your monthly fair value gap, you come into this support that you monthly level. It's the old high from I think it was March 2016. So it's just such a clean level that lines up here. So if we do get that, I mean, that's definitely ETH over Bitcoin area for me. And that could mean the ETF or something gets right after Bitcoin already takes off high, and then the ETF for ETH or something goes live, and then you start seeing inflows. It's just things I can see that could cause this, and it could be anything, you know what I mean, or it just happens. But there's stuff I'm looking at overall. And we have a 0.5. Like, this is a nice little bat area. And usually when you have a 0.5 and you have a 707 here, if you actually take the square root of 5, I'm pretty sure it's 707. I'll just double check because I'll feel like an idiot if I'm not. It is. So you take the square root of 5, it's 707. So that's like a perfect bat in my opinion. If you get the 0.5, you get the Gartley at the 707, you're looking at a potential move up here for ETH versus Bitcoin, way up here, man, which is almost 300%, 278% move. So that's just long term, right? This could take a long time to happen. Maybe it doesn't happen, but just technically, that's based on the ratios in the chart. That is what I am looking at. And I also have the 1618 measured from here to where this completes. So sometimes you have, when you have your harmonic complete like that, your take profits 382, 618, and then a 1618. So I have that marked just in case. That's very, very broad overview of ETH BTC. Total 3, there was just this trend line that we had here, right? And I know this one, I didn't have this point connecting to it. Maybe if you bring it down to that, it actually bounced perfect. There was a bunch of other areas that we've tapped here. So that's just what I'm looking at. I'll just mark them both just so you can see. But this area, I want to see a reclaim of this green line too with force, hopefully tomorrow if we're going to see something. But overall, if you're just looking at the blue trend line where you just take each edge of the point so far, it's your third tap on it. If we start breaking down below that, I think I have this harmonic here, which we could come down to. It's a little bit off on the ratios. but that's what I'd be looking at, 513. And you can see it a little bit more clear, I believe, here on a weekly level. In the monthly. It's right at the monthly order block. So that's what I'd see if we do start to fail this, but in the meantime, I think it looks pretty good for total 3 and we're holding. Total 3, just high time frame. Let me show you what I was looking at. So I was looking at the COVID low and then all-time high from last cycle on total 3. So if you actually pin this from the COVID low and then all-time high, so this is your midpoint, this is 50%. We actually are above 50% now, and this is what we found at support. So from the COVID low, which was the low of last cycle on total 3, all the way to the all-time high of last cycle, and we're holding it. We have bounced off of it. So if we can hold this, I would assume that we can try to get a move or a top here, but we'll see. So that's just what I was looking at. Total 3, we have a cipher pattern here. 618, 1272, 786. It's where we found a low on total 3 with the, like a descending wedge almost, or that we broke out of. If we start to get a push up, see if I see any harmonics or anything. I really don't think I see anything here. I mean, maybe this one, 786, which was a little bit higher than this, so we could see a bounce up there. But if this goes to a 1618 for the crab, we're looking at something like 922 billion on total 3, which on a weekly time frame could make sense. What's the monthly look like? But who knows, that might get a small reaction there or something. Alright, so let's go into some of the altcoins that I've been looking at. If you guys want to request anything, request them, and I'll just go over some of the ones that I think have good technical setups. One of them that jumped out at me today was Crow. So I will cover Crow. Let me go to the one with full data, which I'm trying to remember what had it. I'm pretty sure KuCoin has all of it. Alright, so Crow jumped out at me today. Just a very big level that we have flipped. If you pin it to the low here. So support, 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 resistance, while we're forming a garlet here. So maybe the news or something that we get tomorrow, maybe we come down and who knows, sweep one more time, divergence, go. But overall, I think that higher time frame, it looks good. Maybe it's not the fastest moving chart. Technical wise, it looks fantastic. I just read the comment. Somebody said near FTM. I thought I read it as near motherfucker. Like I thought it said NTF. Kind of funny, but I got you, man. I'll do that in a little bit. So I saw this Gartley pattern and I like it. I think it looks good. The weekly, one thing that also sold me on it. So every single oscillator that we're using, I don't know if you guys remember divergences. I've gone over them a lot, but when you have a low like this and then a higher low, but on your oscillator, you have here and then a lower low, and then you have it on your RSI as well, right? What is that? Does anybody know? Divergence that is. And this is on a weekly time frame too, so it's a hidden bullish divergence and it shows continuation upwards. So as long as you can hold this low, you have a lower low on your oscillator, sellers are getting exhausted, you can move up. You have a lower or a higher low on price, low on your oscillator, hidden bullish divergence. And you on the weekly, you are very oversold on Pro at the moment. Most it's ever been oversold. Alright. DYDX. I'll take a look at that. Here, let me actually just write down a little list and I'll go through them for you guys and grab a piece of paper. I'll start with the Discord ones. Somebody wants Jupiter. I know Vega was in here. Remember this, Vega? All the way down here when we were looking at this little Gartley, and we were looking at the bottom and just how plays go. You had these highs up here for targets, and then higher, obviously, but then you had this all-time high here on Binance that just turned into support here, and you rocketed from it. So obviously this was ideal when we were screaming it back at 40. Since then it has gone on a crazy run, but just on a daily, we're popping up. Maybe not on this time frame, but here, look, the 10-hour shows the bat and the crab. So these are the two harmonics that I was looking at. You had your T1 here, and now you have your T2, and you also formed another harmonic on it. So this would be a fantastic area if we were to reverse. And now would obviously, I mean, just based technically, well, actually probably about a few hours ago, 8 hours ago or so, on that wick down into 90 cents was ideal area that you're looking for this thing to hold. And overall it looks great. I mean, you're above open price when it got listed on the exchange, you're holding support there, you're basing a support. You have two harmonics, so in my opinion it's a very easy invalidation. Divergence. I gotta turn on my regular RSI too, because I typically use that the most. It's just easier to show, and of course it messed up that I use it, but that's fine. So you're starting to form divergence. You can actually see it on the amp too. You got a lower low. So it looks good, man. Overall, I like this chart. If you're looking for like a harmonic target to the like where you'd want to take profit on the upside, you put in a perfect bat this direction. I mean, that's easy invalidation for potential 84% move, but obviously there's going to be areas there. I mean, you got like top of a range potentially in this area, 122, that you got to break above, so you could come up, see your reaction, come back down. But yeah, man, that's not a bad area. I like this chart a lot, actually. If I were to do something, I'd probably, I don't know if I'd want to see this level loss down there. How far down did we? 78.6, so 6 AB equals CD is a 1272. Downside, if we really came down, I'd be looking between like 73 cents and 56 cents again down there. If we really came back down, that's probably the area I'd be looking. But we're in a small range. Like if you're just hide everything and look at Jupe, like if I pull up just another chart that Jupe is on, and you're looking, like right now we are pretty much in a range on the lower time frames, so we do have to break out of this. You know what I mean? And we could be doing some type of Wyckoff accumulation too. Like if you, do I have, yeah, I do have it here. Where was the one I would be looking at? Probably at the top. This one. I don't know, this just kind of just stuck out at me after making the range. Maybe not perfect, but pretty close, right? Actually, scary close. So maybe you have some little Wyckoff accumulation happening here. The only thing we didn't have is this one where it kind of swept the low here. But it looks very similar, man. You even have a little uptick here. Where you have the bullish bat, you have the Wyckoff accumulation. You have the deep crab here. To deep crab while you're forming a bullish bat at the bottom. This could be where you take off. And I mean, this accumulation range like this was the same thing that happened at Fett. And you look back at this and you like kick yourself in the ass sometimes if you didn't buy any of it, because this happened on the very small time frame on Fett down here as well. So you had the Wyckoff on Fett down here, which this is where I had picked up my Fett bags, but you had your low here, you came down, you spiked below, you swept this low, you came up, you swept this high, and then you came back down, you formed a bullish divergence here. And then it just took off. So that could be doing like a same thing that Jupe did. And look at this. I mean, obviously we had the crazy AI craze, but there was a perfect Wyckoff accumulation down at the bottom there. With everybody's asking me about with. God, you guys remember when I was long and whiff down here and buying? This thing played out really well. Oh man. Alright, so originally this is what I think I took the trade on last time, was this bat. 886, took a trade up. So we have the bat here. I wonder if Carney software shows it. Let me see if I can pop it on real quick. Yeah, so he has it from here, which is pretty much the same thing, which is XA. Very, very close. I mean, that's probably the initial up thrust prior, so that's a good low for it. But either way, this one was the one that I played to enter down here a while ago just for a scalp. I had this blue harmonic on here shortly, which it front ran it. I think it went to like a, yeah, so it was close. It went up to it, filled this fair value gap over here that you can barely see. I think it was on the daily, or it was an order block. I had a trend line that I had drawn on with for a while. I haven't really checked it, but it looks like it's starting to try to hold this area. So if it does hold that, I mean, we could see a reversal on with here. The 4 hour here, you definitely can see an M shape, right? There's an M shape here, which is good. That's the first thing I see when I look at stuff naked, that when I spot harmonics, like just looking at this, I see M shape, M shape, kind of an M shape. This is probably a shark, but there's also where you could do it this way too. Then we have this one, another M shape. So I mean, Whiff is just kind of throwing all these harmonics on right now, but I don't know if they're perfect ratios. We can check real quick for you. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's a meme coin. If it's going to continue to go up, it might continue to go up. Potential Gartley here, which it did not hold the 1618 level. So I would personally want to see it get back above that level, which is this level, which is also all this old support that we've had here, where this harmonic completes. Let me make sure it's pinned. 786, 786, yeah, right there. And that was an old support. You can actually see it. Just scrolling, it was a resistance here. I personally would like to see it get a back above that prior. Daily fair value gap there, 50-day moving average. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of work to do. It might be retesting this, but it's still got some work to do. Doesn't mean it can't pump. Shit the bed. Oversold. Watch for a level flip of 277. Could act as a catapult if we actually just deviated below it, reclaim. My dog's snoring. And everything's oversold. Went over this earlier. Somebody asked about Prime. And this was where I said that we were pretty much tapping the trend line that we had on Prime. So probably a good area to bid coming back to this area here. If you're looking at it, I personally just haven't been able to buy this after I watched somebody tell me to buy this down here. And I didn't do it. But you swept your equal lows here. So any of the liquidity, and you deviated below this trend line here. And so if we get a strong reclaim, we're bouncing back here. I mean, this thing could definitely move. Get a little PO3 action going. accumulation, you get your manipulation, you get a reclaim, you look for your expansion move up. And this could go much higher, honestly, but that's what it is. You accumulated, you had people stops, you manipulated it, you stopped them out, people will fill the bags down here. But this low left behind doesn't look the best. You got liquidity down below this too now, but we'll see. And this is the level that you want to reclaim. This is your 886 of your bullish batch structure that you had here. And that lines right up with the trend line. That lines right up with the reclaim of these lows that we had here that we bounced off of. Pretty sure it's probably going to say type 2. Yeah, look, type 2 harmonic. This is where things can get fun. When you get those type 2s, you sweep that liquidity for a move up. So that's a type 2 on prime. I mean, it could move. Your expansion stage, I think it was on the weekly I was looking at. This thing had a massive weekly hidden bullish divergence. So same thing I was talking about last time. I marked this order block of this low. This holds. You have a lower low here on your oscillator, higher high in price. This creates a hidden bullish divergence. And that could mean continuation to the upside. On a weekly time frame. So that could take months to play out. W. That one took a shitter, didn't it? Yeah, W took a shitter. Oh, those stops are gone. Not really too much to look at W with. It's just been, it's in a small. Alright. Here's your range. That's what you've been working with. What might happen is either that was the low where you swept this, or you say you come back down and you come back up and reclaim this big range, and then you go. And you just form a massive W. But that's what I'm looking at. It's keeping it very simple on this one, man. If you're gonna do it, you accumulate while you're doing this, and if we get one more spike down, maybe you add on that. But I don't think you should overcomplicate anything like this. If you're bullish on the project and everything, then I mean, this is the accumulation range. Tate called Ansem a dark skin boy. Oh wow. See, Engine, I knew Engine's going to be strong out of the gate. I'll check that one too here in a second, but Engine, just on the weekly time frame on the Bitcoin pair, looks great. Of course, the top daily movers are Bonk and Pepe on the top 100. Or not Engine, I keep saying Engine, Injective on the Bitcoin pair. There's this bullish bat. It's a very nice bullish bat. Down at 886 at a level that was prior resistance where this thing completed. That's now flipped into a support. So Injective has been quiet for a while, but it can definitely crank back up. There's two ABCD harmonics here. There's a massive weekly hidden bullish divergence. Same thing. Look at this. While you have a Bitcoin pair with a bullish bat on it, flipping a support and resistance level. So that's the one to keep an eye on, man. Like, this thing has the technicals to potentially move. And remember, Injective led a lot. Like, it was a lead-in going into like October before like a lot of the alts ran. So starts to lead again. think on the weekly it completely filled the gap too. And yep, filled the gap, came down to tap the weekly. Beginning this weekly order block right there. And then I have this measured too. Just from the low to the high, there was a 674 pullback. So that actually is closer to a 707 than a 618. I think I had the 618 marked for that. Just for some ABCD patterns, but 707 is a 1.414, which would be here. But either way, just have them marked out. Like if you're looking at ABCD, these are the 3 higher levels that definitely watch out. And then from here to here is a 786, which is a 1272, which is here. So these levels, if we do continue higher with a weekly hidden bullish divergence, which we have a big one here, starting to curve MACD, histogram shows bullish divergence, RSI shows a hidden bullish divergence. So yeah, it's got a hidden bullish divergence, which means continue. So you could see this continue upwards, and just based on the all-time retracement and then this retracement, these are the higher levels just on the ABCD patterns. Higher. I'm gonna do a couple more and then I'm gonna go over some more that I wanted to look at. I'm gonna go over Arbitrum just because the bat, deny the bat on this one, and then the retest. I think I'm in from 95 on this one for a trade. We had a breakout here. You can actually really see it on the daily. We had the shark. But we have this just like slope and trend line that we're tapping again while we're tapping the 3-day bat XA 886. So I mean, overall this isn't a terrible trade. T1, T2 might not be the hottest narrative, but if ETH pops off again, you might see layer 2s run again. But just a clean chart. Lido was one that I was looking at. Same thing here. Came back down to your XA. You had your first take profit. So this is another one where you can start seeing some movement here off the 175, 176 area. Magic I went over earlier. Magic is just technically looks really well just based on ratios. Maybe not the hottest coin in the world, but type 2 on a Gartley. Can't really fade those sometimes. I trade this thing really well, which is why I trade it. I play this thing so I kind of know how it moves. But you had a Gartley here, beautiful Gartley. Hold on, the way I said that, I need to do this real quick.
Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions.
And more like a 2, I think, is a good target for this thing. But it's so technically sound, like just ratio wise, like with this high, you have a perfect 0.5 that you came up to here, which puts 0.5 for a potential 886 here. You have a bullish Gartley here, which the 1618 from the bullish Gartley lines up with right around the bat. The last move up you had tagged a perfect 618. So you look for max 886 for this thing to hold, which is like right here, somewhere around here. And so far we're holding it, but we found support back at. So 786 currently is 192. And if things get crazy, it turns into a crab and you fill this bat and we start flipping all this area into support, then you can start looking for the higher 3.5, 3.73 levels for this thing potentially. And if it heats up and you have Arbitrum heating up and everything again, and they're investing in the treasure ecosystem again with magic, then sure enough this could spike back up. If you are looking at that treasure LOL, I think, pull it up. You might be able to, at this point in the market, buy some cheap ass magic NFTs, and maybe they pump a little bit harder and are worth more magic in the future if things picks up. So there's just a potential opportunity. I haven't even looked at them yet, but it's an option. This is how I got my Arbitrum airdrops, by buying this coin forever ago and playing around in that ecosystem. Phantom. I didn't like charting Phantom earlier. As well. Can't remember. Was Phantom the one that had this shitty butterfly? One 272 level was here, which is the harmonic pivot, which actually lined up right where I put that almost, which probably was exactly where this bounced from, now that I think of it. So this is the old harmonic, and these things, if you place the old harmonic and say it dips below it while it accumulates in the bear market, and then you look back at it and you still keep this level marked at the 1272, even though it's not perfect, it's pretty close ratios, you'll look back and that can be a pivot in the future, or a resistance while it's still below it. And look at that, literally almost tapped it exactly. Even better, I mean, you can also just throw the whole retracement on from this level, and your 1414 area probably was the low, which was here. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm looking at on this thing. ABCD, we had a perfect like the low down here, so this impulse move up to the high, pull back, 618. So you hit the golden pocket pretty much. Right back to a 618 pullback, and that's where we're bouncing from. This actually doesn't look too bad. You got equal highs up here, so those probably get ran. 618. If that holds for ABCD, you're looking at a 1618 potentially next. From this low, I think I had a 707, so this actually should be a 1414, which is up here. Yeah, around 786. So that area, this area up here is what I'd be looking for a sweep of these equal highs potentially. If this low holds, if you hold the 618, and you put in another 618 here, pretty much an 886. Lower time frame bearish harmonic setup here at 108. So if this goes to 1618, you're up there. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It technically, based on harmonics with the fib ratios, the 108 level, which makes sense, This is your order block area. This is your consolidation of the high without the wicks. Probably go to the weekly. Here, let's see where that 786 lines up, huh? Let's see if it lines up right there. It's 111, so it's close, right? Here's the fair value gap. 108 is the midpoint. Yeah, it makes sense, man. So that's what I'm looking at. You gotta have this hold. I mean, your invalidation's easy. I don't like how we didn't tap into this weekly fair value gap down here at all, though. I mean, I do like how you're holding this level, but I mean, maybe wick into that. We'll see, but if you wick into that, it might be a bit if you can just wick and reclaim. But let's see. Daily 200. I mean, that's a bottom. Just by looking at it, this area, I mean, it's probably a good accumulation if you don't have a bag so far. Weekly 200 as well, pretty much. I mean, yeah, man, this thing's got some support below it. And this is a 1272 pivot from this butterfly that we've had. I mean, if you ran it up to even this order block that we had over here for a trade, it's over 2.5x. It's good money. Traditional finance would kill for that shit. Weekly is holding above right at the 50 for your RSI. Did that last time, right at the 50, and it held it. Big move up. Is that before the market? I mean, this area did not hold it. This is from coming down. We'll see. I mean, it's a good area probably to take a bet. Just alone, just looking at the 50 or the 200-day moving average and the weekly 200-day moving average, you got some support on this thing. Other people here in the chat, tell me if Jupe isn't cooked. Jupe looks good, Remy. Yeah, I already did it. If you want to scroll back, I don't know if you're able to while it's live. You might be able to. I'm still a little new with this. But wow, man, there's so many setups right now. Like, I feel like this is the perfect area for us just to reverse and me send not mean, but mean messages to Satoshi and saying, you better along, motherfucker.
Respect the pump.
I see him typing in the chat. Hopefully these soundboards pop up on the YouTube too, because that'd be
Pump it up, man. Pump up the volume.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Bobo. I'll take a look at Bobo. Yeah, I still forget how fucked up this one is. I did this to somebody when they were talking in the Discord one day, and I'm pretty sure they canceled their membership.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
I kid you not, like I can get a notification and it says canceled or whatever, and I clicked that and it was their username. I felt so bad. It was a joke, but H&T's been quiet. Helium on Solana. Ooh. Yo. Damn, I knew I should have fucking shorted this butterfly. Look at this shit. Maybe I did, I don't remember. Fucking to the tick. God, I love harmonics. Look at that. To the fucking tick. All the way back down. I remember longing it down here though. Everybody thought I was a fucking genius. I mean, these old levels are turning into support that I have now. Look at this shit. Oh, fucking fantastic. This chart was so good. And now we're just filled the weekly fair value gap perfectly. I just wish it swept this low. But dude, what a level, right? God, I forgot about this fucking thing. Are all the normies gonna be talking about helium through a cell phone? 886, 786, 1618. Is this the next leg up? Is this a fucking deep crab right into this cluster on their left here? This is Bybit. I need a fucking different chart. What else has the older data? Oh yeah, now we're talking. Bruh. I like this. Yo, that's a good level. Come on, Scott. Show me some harmonics on this thing. I can get behind that. Yo, that weekly fair value gap just filled perfectly too. Cypher 786 618 12 786, bro. All right, that looks good. Fuck, I gotta break out my piggy bank. I've already long some things. I think this looks really good. This chart looks great. I'm just gonna go with a guess and say this is where that 1618 takes you to. Yeah, make this bigger too. I was on my phone, so it was so small. Yeah, very close. Dude, that's a good looking chart. Not quite a 383. Either way, this is a good looking chart, man. do? No, I don't want to join your gen space. AR. So AR only came down to a 7. Come quite down to an 886. Like just looking at this, my ideal would be like a 786 to 886. Like this zone. Like if I took this, I went like this. Over here and put in my 786, 886 zone. That would be my ideal area to bid this. Fill this gap, but I mean it just filled a pretty big one. It's just so hard to buy this now after I have already bought it back on Coinbase that was like down here, and I just don't feel like averaging up. Is it a good coin? Yes, it is a good coin. Does it look good? Yes, it does look good. Pretty much cup and handle with like breakout area up here. Could it also come all the way down? Yeah. I mean, this would be brutal if you hit a cipher. I mean, that's where I would ideally want to bid it again. That looks like H&T down here. That would be my, God forbid that ever happens. I want my alert set though. What do you said? It's like you just drew the lines. What do you mean? Thank you for letting me know the soundboard works on YouTube. Also guys, if you're watching in the YouTube, go to the link in my bio, join the Discord. I'm going to start doing some streams more often. Now that I think the market is about to heat up. I'll do it in the public section too. I really do think we're starting to get into a really fun stage of the market soon. Whether that be if we take a little bit more of a dump, like the pause has been good. There. CHC still has this crazy looking shark that put in the bottom. Alright, what's moving right now? Let's hold on. There's a few other coins that people want to look at. Pith and XRP. Pith and XRP. List here. Oh no, we didn't talk about Near. I think I had this level on Pith for a reason, if I remember. I don't know though. I don't remember. Maybe it was this. Is that 886? My fucking eyes are deceiving me right now. 865. I'd be looking for a reversal down here if we were going to reverse. Could go a little lower though. On the 4 hour, there's at least a trade set up here. It's that nice looking crab. If you guys want to scalp, I mean, it's Pith, it might move slow, but Pith also doesn't move too bad sometimes. I mean, that's not a bad scalp. Got some nice divergences forming on the 4 hour. Oh yeah, Pith looks ready. That's a great divergence, right? Look, you got a lower low, or a higher low. And you got a lower low here. That's a divergence on the 4 hour. Pith looks good. This is probably some type of shark as well. Or is that what it just showed? Not a bad looking chart, boys and girls. And this actually, let's go here. This looks more like a harmonic. 886, 886. Let's get a 1618 from here. Let's mark that level. And see how that looks in the past and future. Look at that. Good level. Set alerts above that. See when that flips. You probably get a nice little move off that. Areas to look out for. That one level that we just had marked. And then I would just add on your fair value gaps and look at those for profits. And then these last up candles before down there, people will take profits on those too. What else do you guys want to look at? What did I say? XRP. Somebody said. I mean, it's in a good area, right? Like, just looking at the chart left. It's not a bad area. Still think XRP goes. I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when. There's a shark here. $1.13 shark. So around $1, go figure. Psychological level. Weekly fair value gap at this Gartley, by the way, too, around $1.12. I think this is a magnet at some point. And that will probably be your XRP cycle move.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage. This is bad. This is very,
Stephen
very
A.
bad.
So what like interests me so far a lot? H&T that you guys brought up. H&T interested me a lot. You gotta look at PAL and strong AI coins and desync. I was looking at PAL earlier. Oh hell yeah, it's actually, dude, this is what I really wanted to get on PAL. If we can finish this bat, check this out, guys. PAAL AI, PAL AI. This is an amazing setup. I think this is areas where you start to bid. I think if I can get this 19 cents, I don't want to be too greedy, but damn man, if I can get 19 cents on PAL, I think that's a great bid on this thing. I would love to do that. Maybe form a little divergence, come up and reclaim, and then, I mean, that's a profit, but whew. I think that would be amazing if we got it, but who knows? Maybe it only comes to the 786, and it's strong. Some of these coins only come, and I get greedy for not stacking, but look, we tagged the 786 just now. So I think if you're gonna buy this, like you're doing spot and you're looking for a move up of 120% from here, and it's not in a bad area, I don't know where you want to keep your stops, but I mean, that's a 2-to-1 trade, and I would just bag hold this thing, but, and then add down here, and average. I don't know, I like this coin, looks good. Ideal entry is the 886 for me, but overall this coin does look good. What was the other one then? It was OXO. Same exact setup. So there's that. And then this one probably is right at a 618 or over a 618. If we brought it here. Uh-oh, what the fuck just happened? Oh, it was a trend line I grabbed. Six, 8, 1. Yeah, whatever. Right. 6, 8, 1, I guess is technically the same thing as a 6, 1, 8. Maybe it goes from here. I mean, that would be ideal. And alerts for these. Every time. Just in case we get some of those juicy buys down here. I don't care if my Apple Watch or my phone vibrates like crazy on that. else are we looking at down the line here? GME, of course. Banana gun, banana bot. That's not it. That is not it, Chief. B-A-N-A-N-N-A. B-A-N-A-N-A. Oof. Banana front ran me. That's forever ago. What did I do? Go from here? Yeah, so it was a Gartley. Or a Cypher. Cypher. I guess I tried this forever ago. I think I still have some scraps of this on the wallet. SYN, huh? My buddy was so fucking bullish on this coin. Literally is so bullish. Was it this one? Maybe it wasn't this one. Either way, the chart doesn't look bad on this. Dude, so many of these things are coming into harmonics. Like, it's just unreal. This one's a fucking Gartley. Dude, this thing's gonna fly. Oh my god, it's fucking bottom here on a Gartley. I did trick this. What the fuck is this? Oh, forever ago. Maybe not fly, but like some of these things just, I mean, technically speaking, this is fucking beautiful. God, I can't get over how bullish everything looks. And for everybody else, it's probably not going to look bullish, right? Everybody is scared. They're all pussies right now. Forgot I'm live streaming too. But if you are scared right now, you're a pussy.
I'm built different. Another one.
Alright, what else looks good? What else is pumping off of these lows? Where I think the bottom's getting put in. So I know the date is 6/12. The crypto bottom is getting put in. And if I'm wrong, you guys can hate on me all you want, but if not, I'm just going to take this video and repost it and show you all these plays that you guys could have just longed at the bottom. Hondo, my baby. crazy. What were we looking at this thing on? Oh, holy shit, Bostronics. Fucking amazing. Isn't it crazy how things like that happen? 6, 12, 24, all things double. Crypto's gonna double now. What were we looking at on H&T? Which exchange was it had all the data? It's like bugging me now. I don't think this is it, but I guess I can just simply do this. MEXC had it that long? That's actually insane. Speaking of MEXC, has anybody looked at MX token? Fucking MEXC's token is just casually been pumping. And this is like a big breakout that I had. Yeah, H&T is gonna go. I'm just gonna pick up some spot. It looks great. I like it. Alright, anything else you guys want to look at? Oh, Sol. I can go over Solana. I can't believe I didn't go over Solana. I went over Arbitrum earlier. Go ahead and look back into the stream. Alpha Commission, what's good, homie? Arbitrum should be back in the stream. If not, I'll pull it back up and you can just pause on what I see on Arbitrum on a 3-day. There is a retest of a breakout. We have an 886 here from a bullish bat. So I am looking for this thing to hopefully hold this area. If you draw a trend line from the lows here, all of these tap. So this is a good area to see a reversal, potentially. Or we go all the way down here and Cole is right and he shits on all of crypto Twitter again and you guys hate your lives. So that's up to you. Solana. SOL. When that chain goes under, shit out of luck. Sooner or later, this chain is going to go to 0. But for now, no, but for real, with like the dilution that the chain has to just go ahead and be able to do all the transactions and everything, like the token has been so inflated, like we've hit a market cap all-time high. Like if you just go to Solana, and most of you guys on Solana probably already know this, but if you don't, then you should probably look at this. If you're just looking, like we obviously haven't created an all-time high in price, but if you go to market cap, like we definitely already created an all-time high in market cap on Solana. You can just type in Sol here and look at market cap, and you can actually see Solana has already beat its all-time high here in market cap, and it is finding resistance at all-time high, but they have just printed so many more tokens, and with transactions so cheap, it comes at a cost. And this thing is getting diluted to fuck. And maybe there is a better solution to it, and they already know about it or have talked about it. But personally, I didn't look into it as much. I bought around 12 bucks again this cycle, and I have been distributing it off. So who knows? It goes to 1,000, and the market cap is some insane fucking number. But just a thought. Let's get back to the $328 price I think it's going to go to soon though. Alright, I'm long from Solana still. I'm currently still long on a leverage play from 123 bucks. I'll show you why I entered, where I think it's going to go. My entries on Solana originally are down here. I remember it consolidated in this area. Everybody's saying the bottom's in, blah, blah, blah. I was calling for 12 bucks. We had 12 bucks I bought. It actually went down to like 9 bucks. I bought more. And then I started distributing on the way up. But why did I enter at 123? Multiple reasons. One, go to the daily here. Bullish bat structure. Low. 0.5, 886, 886, boom, entry. Close as I can to that. On the Coinbase chart, it actually, this was here and then it actually swept lower on Coinbase. So 886 hit on Coinbase, you actually swept the low, so I noticed that, which was different. If you pull this up on Coinbase, you can actually see a little bit different. We swept the low into it. So that's what I was looking at. So charts were a little different market participants, but that's what it is, you know what I mean? But boom, all right. Came up and we topped 786. Could this be the top? And it just continues down and we get a move way down. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Could it pump higher? Yes, again, it can. And if it does, my target is 328 bucks. 786.5 pullback. This seed leg obviously can come lower too. It can come all the way down here and still be valid for a move up to 328. Lower time frame. Oh, weekly. Weekly order block, flipped, turned into support at the bullish harmonic. Yes, that's where I got long. Boom, simple. Hold that, higher prices, I'm assuming. All right, now what are we working with? We have a 618, or a 786 here. 786 goes to 1272 for harmonic potentially, which is 235 bucks. So another level to watch out for. Boom. Now you also go to the weekly on Solana. Where's it at? Maybe it's Coinbase. Was I just on Coinbase? No, I was not. Alright, I think it was 235 or something like that. That's somebody else I had marked somewhere else for. But this is it. So next level, 235, 236 area I'd be looking out for. Just based on this, if we can hold these lows down here around 116. If we can't do that, I mean, harmonic wise, we are looking for a move down. I would think to like 80 bucks, some shit like that. I don't know. But hold above 100, good number. Preferably hold above 122, move 236. I think that could be the next stop. If we are gonna fully send it, 328 next. From there, I'll have to look at some other things and just recent price action and price to give you higher numbers. But that's just the macro overview for me right now, because that is how I'm trading Solana. I have bought low and I am distributing. There's no need for me to overtrade this or scalp or anything. I have made good money on this on the way up. And now I have longed the recent pullback bottom and I have been holding it. I did sell some at like 180-ish, somewhere around here, and that was because that was the second take profit. I actually held a little bit above it. So 175 was the TP of the bat for TP2. So I did sell a little bit above that actually, because that's just when I happened to look on my phone on this day. But I am still holding some of my position, potentially up to 328 bucks and 236 next. Higher time frame, that's what I'm looking at. Weekly hidden bullish divergence, but that thing's all the way down here, so. Daily, you're below the 50 right now. Got to get back above that little red line at 157. You got your 200 down at like 128, 129. One thing to notice, if you're looking at the daily chart, come down into the order block here and tap into that. There was probably a little harmonic here or something that popped up as well. Very, very close. So maybe it sweeps one more time into this and then can potentially go up. Say this goes to a 618, which would be like right, say it sweeps into that or something like that and it goes up. But that is like an area that I am looking for. And I'm pretty sure if you take a trend line and just draw this bitch this way, a lot of it lines up. So you got a bunch of things for this. HPC combo, if you go to Scott Carney's Twitter, he's the guy that wrote the books on the harmonic. He has a software. I use the software. But I also draw a lot of these harmonics myself. as I've been doing for a long time since I've read the books. He does sell the software. It is available on his website. You can reach out to him directly. If you are looking for it, you go to Harmonic Trader. Right here. And you can go to his website, I believe, or maybe I think his website, or you can go to his Discord, and or watch his live streams because he talks about it. He's the one that wrote all the books on the harmonics, but that is his software. So I did buy it and I do use it, and it is a great tool if you know harmonics. If you do not know harmonics, it is point tool before learning how to use them and reading the books prior and making sure it's something that you want to use. He does do a free trial. I recommend personally learning and reading the books before you do the free trial, so you actually know how to use them when you're looking at it, versus you turn on the software, you click on a button, you have no clue any framework of harmonics, and then from there you're like, okay, maybe I should read the books, and then you waste your free trial. So I recommend reading the book, harmonics first, then get in the free trial, or at least trying to understand harmonics, and then do the free trial. So yeah, go ahead if you want, reach out to him. If you guys have any questions or anything, I'm going to be in my Discord. So I will, in the Discord wants to come off mute or talk, please let me know. But yeah, it's been fun, it's been cool. I'll start doing these more, but it hasn't been real fun yet. Be real fun when we start to see these things really pop off. See it. Yeah, read his books. Read the books.